Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 52 units of real estate and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So today I want to kind of talk about a lot of the little things that I've done over the past um, 12, 13 years that has helped me build a significant amount of wealth. And to be honest, when I was doing it, I thought everyone else did this, but fast forward 12 years, I just got to see like how large of a gap I was able to build between a lot of people that I went to like high school with, to college with, and even pharmacy school with. And it's kind of interesting seeing how we all started at the same spot, like went to the same high school, went to the same college at UOP, went to the same pharmacy school, and even a lot of the pharmacists that I see at graduate 2013, fast forward today, 12 years later in 2025, like I just got to see like how much more wealth I've built over time by doing these like small little daily habits. And they don't seem like in the day to day, it doesn't seem that impressive. But when you kind of span it out or scale it out to like over 12 years, that's when it starts to seem really, really impressive. So one thing that I've done was, especially coming out of pharmacy school, I graduated with $250,000 of student debt. And it took me about 4 years of aggressive loan payment. So on average, about $60,000, $70,000 a year to allocate as much money as I could to pay off my student loans in about 4 years. And I know a lot of pharmacists who graduated my year, they're still doing the minimum payments on their student loans. And they're like probably like not even like close to halfway done. And for me, I've been done like 8 years ago. So like it's really crazy how they're making the minimum payments, and versus me, and they're halfway done. Versus me, I was aggressive. I lived at home. I lived humbly. I just rented a room. So how did I do that? Right. I focused on increasing my income by job hopping. So every job that I went to, my income went up. I kept my expenses as low as possible, and your base expense is your living expense. So when I was living away from home, I just rent a room for like $500, and when I got a job near home, I was just living at home for free, and that allowed me to save up a lot of money to basically throw towards my student loans. And I kept my expenses very low because when I was living in the middle of nowhere of King City, there's literally nothing to do. I just went to the gym, which was like, I forgot, like $50 a month, and from there I basically like just there wasn't much to eat out because it was mostly like fast food or like taco trucks, and you can't eat that every day. So I would cook a lot. I'd bring a lot of food from home, and I kept my expenses very low. So I didn't really spend much during the weekday, but during the weekend when I went home, I would spend time with my friends, my family, my girlfriend, and that's where all my expenses went. But I was only spending money like 2 out of 5 days or 2 out of 7 days of the week. So I kept my expenses very low, and I was able to save up, basically $60,000 to $70,000 a year to pay off my student loans aggressively. And what I did after that was I said, okay, after student loans are done, I was like, what's next? And my next objective was I wanted to stop living at home. So I took the same methodology of increasing my income by job hopping, keeping my expenses as low as possible by living at home, and not really lifestyle inflating. I was fortunate to my parents got me a 3-year-old used BMW for my graduation, so I didn't have to worry about car expenses or anything. And I didn't upgrade my car either. Honestly, I drove that car for like 11 years, and recently it broke, and then I upgraded to my Tesla Model Y that I currently drive at the end of 2023. So like literally for like 10 years, I drove the same car, despite making more money, despite increasing my net worth. I clearly could have upgraded my car, but I basically just from graduation to even today, I basically job hop to increase my income, kept my expenses as low as possible. At this moment in time, my living expenses is the highest because I'm living in a house with Christine, my wife. I'm not house hacking, and I'm paying about, if we split it, $3,700 a month, right? And when I was living at home, it was free. When I was renting a room, it was 500. When I was house hacking, I was only paying $1,000 a month, which that thousand was just going to me essentially. So now I'm paying the highest I made, but I'm also making the highest I ever made as well. So it kind of like balances out in that way. But I've kept the same mantra, right? Like whether my net worth was negative 250K to $6 million plus, my spending for the most part hasn't really changed. I've always prioritized spending money on experiences, on food, on hanging out with friends, and on travel. And In terms of material things, I just buy it on sale. I buy it on clearance. I wait for coupon codes. I coupon scalp online. I credit card churn to cover some of the travel. Whatever I could do to like save money and still have the experience and the joy, I did. So that's what I did, right? So like in the moment, it doesn't sound so grand to say, you know what, I just focused on increasing income, kept my expenses as low as possible, invested the difference and saved the difference. And whether I was paying off student debt or saving it for my down payment, that's all I did. It doesn't sound impressive. It sounds obvious, but you scale that over like 12, 13 years. That's really, what it is. Basically, you go over to that. And for me, that's the differentiation. Is one day at a time is not impressive. You do that over like 12 years, and you look back, you're like, wow, like thanks to that mindset, I was able to build up a $6 million plus net worth, and by 35, and that's crazy. But in the moment, it doesn't sound that impressive. I was like, oh well, I just was very conscious about my spending. And another thing too is like another trait that I had is like just continuously learning and like trying to like have my money work for me. So I learned about investing in index funds, right? And I learned about that starting in 2017, really. But I remember like I didn't really know much. Like I just threw money in the SP 500 because I just thought it was the easiest. But I really solidified my knowledge in 2017 when I read Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game, and I was just like, oh, like this is the way to do it, and this is the way you let compounding, you let your money work for you, because over time it grows. You have dividends gets reinvested back into there, and it's really what it is. So that's just kind of a thought that I've had, and that's kind of just like how can I have my money work for me? So obviously I have money working for me through stocks where I have dividends and the money gets reinvested, and over time it grows. I don't do anything. Same real estate, the money's working for me. I put a one-time down payment, 10% down, and that money is getting me monthly cash flow. I'm getting monthly principal pay down. I'm getting some tax write-offs, and then I'm also getting natural market appreciation. So there's 4 ways that money is working for me to increase my wealth, to increase my net worth. And now like I'm in a weird way, like social media is it doesn't make that much money, but it's also compounding for me as well, because I have videos that I created years ago, and if people are still watching it, that's still generating income for me, while not a lot, but it could generate some income for me. So that's also an asset compounding over time. So you want to like leverage your money and you want to leverage your time. And that's what I love about like investing, because you're leveraging your money and you're leveraging your time to have your money grow for you. Because like I said, regardless today, if I work or not, like today is Sunday, I'm not working, my assets are going up in value. My principal pay down is getting paid down every month, and I'm getting natural or monthly rental income, and I'm getting monthly principal pay down, and I'm doing nothing. So, despite me not working, I'm still growing, and that's the key, right? And my stocks, regardless, like we're today, they could be going up, they could be going down, but my money's working for me. My YouTube videos, I could have created something like a couple months ago, people are watching it, I'm still making money from that, potentially not a lot, but like I'm making something from that. So this is what's nice about compounding. So like media is leveraged in compounding, and then investing is leveraged in compounding, right? So and then now I'm leveraging other people to manage my real estate portfolio, so it gets easier and easier. So like the key thing I want to hit is you have to like constantly learn. And then like for me, I've always tried to push and better myself. And we all have seen that friend where like hey, they haven't really improved much in the past like 10-15 years, and then you've gone on this huge growth journey, and you can see the huge gap between you two, right? Like we all have that one friend that we look back at. But for me, I always wanted to continuously learn, always continue to stay curious, and always try to better myself in any way possible, right? Like I don't want to be stagnant. I always want to learn and be better and grow. And same thing with like leverage. So people have to get comfortable with leverage. Like obviously, like if I just want to work my W-2 job, like what a lot of people do in pharmacy is they don't try to increase their income. They just like work more hours, but you're limited by 24 hours in a day. And you only have so much energy to do that. Like I can work every day, work a bunch of overtime, but I wouldn't be happy doing that. I'd rather like learn to have money work for me and leverage other people's money. So I'm leveraging the bank's money. I'm leveraging my property management to manage my real estate portfolio. And like I said, I spend 4 hours a month with my stabilized 52 unit portfolio, and I self-manage, and it's bringing in $10,000 a month. And I don't do much besides 4 hours of work a month at most, right? I respond to my property manager, or approve a repair, or they just bring me up to speed, or I talk to them to see how the property's doing, right? Like nothing like that special that's going on, if I'm being honest. So it's just really about doing little things over a long period of time. That's how you that's how you build wealth. So for me, I utilize leverage of people's money and people's time to build my wealth. Number two is I constantly learn. And number three is I consistently increase my income, kept my expenses as low as possible, and saved and invest the difference. Right? Those are the three things I've done over like 12 years to help me build a, $12 million net worth. Right? It sounds so simple, and it is that simple. But like I said, in the moment, it doesn't feel like much. Like I don't even know it's that special until like I look back. I'm like, oh wait, you're not doing that, because I am, and I have been, and it doesn't seem special to me. So like in the moment, it doesn't feel special, but when you look back 10 years ago later, you're like, wow, that's really crazy. Just like going to the gym, right? Like if you consistently go to the gym, like, people who have six packs when they're 40s, they got six packs in their 20s, and it's easy to maintain that six pack in your 30s and 40s versus like trying to get a six pack in your 40s out the gate or 30s out the gate, right? But if you got it in your 20s, which is the easiest, it's easy to maintain that as you age, because so that's the key. You put in the initial work one time, then you just maintain it. It gets easier and easier, right? But just that initial work one time. So anyways, hopefully you found some value from this. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want one-on-one coaching, click on my link tree to buy multifamily real estate. From there, you can send me an email. Happy to give you a discount code. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.